Quite frankly, I've known homosexual couples for years, and have always advised, protect yourself. Please, I've married couples, heterosexual couples, who needed a contract to make sure that if you rat on me, if you...
Reverend Fauntroy, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. 3 minutes is obviously not enough for me to express my full views on this subject, but I'm known to many people in this city for the last 50 years as the pastor of New Bethel Baptist Church. The first decade was spent as Martin Luther King Jr.'s personal representative to the President of the United States, the leadership of the House and Senate, and during which we made great strides toward freedom on civil rights, voting rights, and fair housing. The second 2 decades were spent as the district's first delegate in the Congress in 100 years, where within 1 year we got the Home Rule Charter, and thereafter we were able to provide freedom to people in South Africa because of a devotion to 2 things that I want to stress here. One is civil society, and the other is the perpetuation of the species. With respect to civil society thrives when all human beings require and receive 5 things: access to income, education to earn money, health care to live long enough to enjoy it, housing, and justice. So that if you have those 4 things, nobody can take it from you. For that reason, I have been a strong advocate of the rights of all human beings, regardless of race, creed, color, or sexual preference, to 5 things. Don't discriminate and deny anybody those 5 things. And so on that basis, I have advocated where there are contractual relationships between people who have same-sex relationships, that they ought to be granted and provided the contractual requirements that the courts provide everyone. However, on the question of marriage, you cannot equate marriage with a contract. When marriage is nature's schoolroom for teaching people how to care for, protect, and defend one another, and to share 5 things. And when you create a situation where people are at war with one another because they feel that they don't need one another, you can't hold civil society together. That's why the Founding Fathers said, we the people of this country, in order to form a more perfect union, to provide for the general welfare, 5 things, and to promote that you cannot have for the general welfare without domestic tranquility. Domestic tranquility comes through teaching people how to learn to care for, protect, and defend one another, and you do that in family. That's why across the world we are in danger, quite frankly, of violating the principle of perpetuation of the species. I have many friends who are have sexual preference to others of the same sex, but they cannot reproduce. And as an African American who has suffered because of the legacy of the deliberately breaking up the family, that institution that teaches us to care for, protect, and defend one another, I cannot equate marriage with the right of people to 5 things. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend. And Ms. Dunlop-Elkins.
Good afternoon, and thank you for allowing me.
Reverend Fauntroy, you mentioned the work to end apartheid in South Africa. One of the most significant aspects wasn't just an end to the racist architecture of the apartheid system as it related to race and to mixed race individuals, but it also included the segregation, discrimination that was a part of the apartheid system directed towards gays and lesbians, bisexual, and transgendered people. It did take the ANC and President Mandela and the influence that he had over the ANC and the entire country to include as equal citizens in South Africa for the first time individuals based on sexual orientation. And what is fantastic is that the South African Constitution is more progressive than our own when it comes to our citizens. And it's something that those of you who are so active in upsetting and destroying apartheid should take great pride in. But since December 1st, 2006, South Africa has sanctioned same-sex marriages. And I think the country is stronger for it. I've seen no evidence in the last 3 years that in South Africa, where same-sex couples can marry, that there's been any considerable diminishment of the future or the progress of that country. And so I would like to say that we are going to just have a respectful disagreement on this. I understand that your point of view is not necessarily religious-based as much as it is on the theory of procreation, and I think that that is a fair point, although with more than 6 billion people on this earth, that we are in no danger of going extinct, and that there are a good many children who are born into difficult circumstances by opposite-sex couples that are for want of a home. And so it is as if we as a world produce more children than we can consume, and maybe it is part of God's work that gay and lesbian couples assist and step in, maybe not to perpetuate, but to nurture those who are already here. And I want to thank you for being here, Reverend.
May I comment?
Please.
Having launched the Free South Africa movement 25 years ago, and having participated with the ANC in shaping a new constitution that was to be non-racial, non-sexist, and non-discriminatory against any citizen.
That's right.
Who needed 5 things. You do not discriminate against a person in terms of their ability to earn income. You do not discriminate against a person with respect to their need to get education to earn income. You don't discriminate against a person with respect to their access to health care. You don't discriminate against a person with respect to their access to housing. And you don't discriminate against a person with respect to their access to justice. And I want to just make it very clear that we who are most concerned about this issue are concerned as political scientists who know that this issue has been used by people who want to deny people 5 things and are doing it effectively in order to win 11 states in 1984 by diverting the attention of the American people from the issue, which was an ill-advised war in Iraq that has wrecked the world. So that I'm sorry I don't have a statement for 3 minutes. But I've been working on some serious issues, like health care for all Americans, like housing, like a jobless recovery. Let's let the least of these without income. And you can't get, if you don't have income, you can't get education, it costs money. If you don't have education, you don't have income, you can't get health care. I dare you to get sick and go to the hospital here and say, "Doctor, I'm dying." You know what he'll ask you? Do you have a card? Because if you're not covered, die. You can't get income, you can't get housing without income, and you can't get justice without income. And so I'm focused on those issues, and it does trouble me that here we are at a time when this city is in great difficulty with respect to the least of those who have least of income, education, healthcare, housing, and justice, that we are wrestling with something that can be solved and has been solved. Quite frankly, I've known homosexual couples for years and have always advised, protect yourself. Please, I've married couples, heterosexual couples, who needed a contract to make sure that if you rat on me, if we buy this house, and you're not going to have, it's, as we used to say on the street, it's cheaper to keep her. And if you're going to enter this relationship, understand that society will protect your rights.
Dr. feels the same way.
All I'm saying is, you're going to do what you want. All I ask is the right to vote.
All right. Well,
the right to vote. Give the people an opportunity
Reverend
to vote.
Fauntroy, I wanted to give you the remaining part of my time out of respect for your service for the city.
Please forgive me for taking your time. I'll pay you Saturday.
Reverend,
I get paid next Friday.
You know, you are a district institution, and I wanted to give you the chance to put your point of view.
Thank you. I
consider
appreciate
this
that.
maybe not the best chapter in a good book between us, but I think going forward we'll find many other things for common ground, and I want to thank you for being here. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mm-hmm.